This movie theater is completely sold out. But tonight, that might not be enough to make it a good business. Every seat is occupied, every customer paid for a ticket, and from the lobby, Starlight Cinema looks like a money-printing machine. So why does Ikeo look worried? Because the secret to this business isn't hiding on the giant screen. It's hiding in something customers complain about almost every time they visit. A movie ticket costs $15, and sitting beside it is a bucket of popcorn for $9. And once Iko discovers why the theater desperately wants that $9 popcorn sale, he'll realize he's actually been running two businesses under the same roof. But Iko didn't understand any of that when he first walked through Starlight Cinema's doors. To him, the business looked almost ridiculously simple. Fill these seats, sell the tickets, collect the money. 200 seats at $15 each meant $3,000 from a single sold-out screening. Now multiply that by several screenings, several auditoriums, and an entire weekend. Standing there, Ikeo had only one question. How could a place like this possibly lose money? Then Starlight Cinema gets exactly what Iko has been waiting for. A blockbuster everyone wants to see. By opening night, every seat is sold, and Iko is about to learn why a sold-out sign can hide a very expensive problem. Opening night arrives, and for Iko, everything is going exactly according to plan. Hundreds of tickets become thousands of dollars, and every new sale makes Iko more certain he was right. By closing time, Iko looks across the packed cinema and thinks, "We did it." Then Monday morning arrives, and one number wipes the smile off Iko's face. The cinema collected all that ticket money, but a huge part of it was never really Starlight's to keep. That's because showing a blockbuster isn't free. The studio and distributor have their own share of the ticket economics. But losing part of the ticket revenue isn't Iko's biggest problem. Because even if nobody buys a single ticket tomorrow, Starlight will still start costing him money the moment he unlocks the doors. At 10 a.m., Starlight Cinema is completely empty, but the expenses have already started. Lights, air conditioning, computers, and projection equipment don't care whether the seats are full or empty. Then come the employees, ticket staff, cleaners, concession workers, and managers, long before every showing becomes profitable. And that's before rent or property costs, insurance, maintenance, cleaning, and expensive cinema equipment enter the picture. Which means an empty seat isn't simply a ticket Iko failed to sell. It's a chance to recover those costs that disappeared forever. Suddenly, Iko understands something uncomfortable. Selling the movie ticket gets a customer through the door, but the theater needs to earn more from that visit. And that's when Iko notices something strange. The most interesting machine in this entire building might not be the projector. The next morning, Iko takes a handful of popcorn kernels and asks a ridiculously simple question. What does it actually take to make a bucket of popcorn? Then he drops them into the machine. A small amount of kernels expands into a huge bucket of something customers are willing to pay $9 for. But here's where people get this story wrong. That $9 is not $9 of profit. The important part isn't that popcorn costs nothing to make. It's that its economics can look very different from the movie ticket. And suddenly, the concession counter Iko had treated like a side attraction starts looking like one of the most important parts of the building. But if popcorn is so valuable to the theater, Ikeo has another question. Iko thinks he's found the easiest way to make popcorn even more valuable. Just charge more for it. Then the first customer sees the new price. He doesn't complain. He just walks away. Then another customer walks away. And another. Suddenly, Iko's higher-margin popcorn isn't looking very profitable at all. Iko had discovered the value of popcorn, but now he discovers something just as important. A great margin means nothing if nobody buys. So instead of asking, "How much can I charge?" Iko asks a better question. How do I make the customer want to spend more? Now the customer sees medium for $8 and large for $9. For just $1 more, the large suddenly feels like the better deal. And it works. Customers start choosing the large. But then Eco notices something even more valuable than selling a bigger bucket. The customer buying popcorn is thirsty. Eco has just discovered something businesses love even more than a sale, a second sale to the same customer. The popcorn creates one purchase. The drink creates another. Then Eco asks another question. If customers often want both, why make them decide twice? So he combines them into one simple offer. Popcorn, drink, one decision. And that's when Eco notices something much bigger. Two people can watch the exact same movie, but be completely different customers to the theater. Both fill one seat, but one visit creates only a ticket sale, while the other creates tickets, food, and drink revenue. Eco thinks he's finally solved the concession business. Then he notices something strange. Some customers decide they want popcorn. Before they've even reached the counter, the customer hasn't checked the menu. He hasn't seen the price. He hasn't even reached the counter. He smelled it. Eco realizes the popcorn machine isn't only making food. Every fresh batch is advertising itself across the lobby. Then there's another effect. Once one person buys popcorn, everyone else starts seeing it. But this creates a bigger question. Out of every food theaters could sell, why did popcorn become the symbol of going to the movies? To answer that, Eco has to go back nearly a century, to a time when movie theaters didn't always want popcorn inside at all. Street vendors could sell popcorn cheaply outside cinemas, while some theater owners initially saw snacks as messy and unsuitable for their elegant auditoriums. Then the Great Depression hits. Suddenly, theaters need affordable entertainment, and they need every source of revenue they can find. That annoying little popcorn cart outside starts looking very different. Eventually, theater owners stop fighting the popcorn sellers and start becoming popcorn sellers themselves. And popcorn had almost everything a theater could want. Simple ingredients, fast preparation, easy serving. And customers could eat it in the dark without taking their eyes off the screen. But the most powerful thing happens slowly. People stop thinking of popcorn as something sold near a movie, and start thinking of popcorn as part of going to the movies. Nearly a century later, Eco finally understands why his popcorn machine matters. It isn't just selling food. It's selling part of the movie night ritual. But history explains why customers want popcorn. It still doesn't explain just how important each customer has become to Starlight. 3 customers can sit in 3 identical seats and watch the exact same movie, while spending completely different amounts inside the building. Eco finally thinks he understands the business. Then he asks the question that makes everything we've learned much more dangerous. What happens if people stop coming to the theater at all? Eco isn't competing with the theater across town anymore. He's competing with your living room. If movies can be watched at home, why should anyone leave the couch? Eco realizes people don't only pay for the movie, they pay for the experience around it. The giant screen, powerful sound, fresh popcorn, shared laughter, and opening night excitement all become part of one experience. Suddenly, the $9 popcorn doesn't look like the beginning of the story. It looks like one small piece of a much bigger business. Businesses often look simple from the outside, until you discover where they actually make their money. The ticket gets you through the door. What happens after that is where the economics gets interesting, and that's why movie theaters hope you'll say yes to the popcorn. One bucket of popcorn changed the economics of an entire industry. If you watched all the way to the end, comment just one word: popcorn. Leave a like if this story surprised you. and subscribe to Data Venture, because the next business secret is even bigger.